You're watching Indonesia Now from Jakarta. Our Asia Watch begins in Japan. A powerful earthquake sent a series of moderate tsunamis towards Japan's northeastern shore Tuesday, causing rivers in some areas to flow upstream. Footage showed a succession of waves ascending the Sumiyoshi River in Tagajo City, while the water remained within the embankment. The rare phenomenon was known as a tidal bore. At least 14 people were reported injured, 3 with broken bones, due to Tuesday's quake. The magnitude 7.4 earthquake struck Tagajo City, the same region that was devastated by the 2011 earthquake that killed 18,000 people. South Korea and Japan formally signed an agreement Wednesday to share military intelligence to counter missile and nuclear threats from North Korea. South Korean Defense Minister Han Min-ko and Japanese Ambassador to South Korea Yasumasa Nagamine signed the agreement in Seoul. The pact comes less than a month after talks resumed following a 4-year suspension. The pact allows both sides to exchange information on North Korea without having to go through the United States. Meanwhile, protesters gathered in front of South Korea's defense ministry on Wednesday to demonstrate against the signing of a controversial military pact. They said the agreement can be used to benefit Japan's military actions and threatens peace in the Korean peninsula. 17 people died and 37 were hospitalized when 56 vehicles crashed on motorway in China's northern Shaanxi province on Monday. Lorries had been completely crushed by the impact as rescuers tried to work through the wreckage. Preliminary investigations found the pileup was caused by foggy weather and slippery conditions. Emergency work to clear the motorway and investigations into the crash were ongoing. The latest Disney animation movie, Moana, involved 800 employees from 25 countries. Griselda Sastrawinata is the first Indonesian to work in the company's art department. Indonesia Now Stephanie Silitonga met her during a workshop in Jakarta and asked her how she started her journey in animation industry.
I started my career in the animation when I went to Art Center College of Design in Pasadena. I did an internship at DreamWorks. After I graduated, I applied to DreamWorks, Disney, and then a few other small studios. There's no open position in the big studio, but there's one in the smaller one that actually closed down now. I went there for a year until the studio closed down, and then I called Disney and I called DreamWorks. Disney, there's no position available, and DreamWorks have a position available, so I went to DreamWorks and signed a contract there for 3 years. And then Disney called a few months later and said, hey, we have something, but I can't go because I have a contract. And every time my contract about to end, I called Disney. Disney said, no position. But a few months after I signed my contract, they said, oh, we have something. So the time didn't line up until 9 years, since the first time I applied.
That we know that this is the experience that you've been waiting for to work for Disney, right?
Yes.
So how did your first feeling when you got
It's amazing. It's like a dream come true. I'm still pinching myself sometimes when I walk in the studios under the hat building. You see the Mickey hat and you're like, I can't believe I work here.
Tell us about your very, very interesting experience work at Disney.
It's working with Ron and John, because I grew up watching The Little Mermaid and Aladdin, some of my favorite all-time Disney movie. So to get to work with someone that I admire for a very long time, that is, an unbelievable dream come true.
It's a dream come true indeed. So how does it feel to be considered as a hometown artist?
Hometown artist, it's such an honor. When I think about it, I feel a little bashful about it. It's like, oh my goodness, I'm just doing my thing.
So tell us about your career started in Moana. Like how did you start the Moana project?
And for Moana, I was hired to do the tapas. The tapas are a cloth from Polynesia. It is actually the inner bark of a mulberry tree that they strip and then they soak in water, then they pound it thinly, and after it becomes very thin, they glue it together, they patch it together to make a big piece of cloth. Then it's decorated with natural dye with geometric Polynesian pattern, and it is used for ceremony like weddings and funerals. So it's a very special thing that they have, and it's also a beautiful communal process. It's not just one person doing the tapas. It's like the whole village is involved in the process of making it.
All right. So we know a little about animation, and you are the expert in animation. So
I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert, but I know a little bit about it.
all right. So tell us what comes first, the animations or the voices? The process.
In the process, it comes from inspiration of ideas of what our next feature film would be. For Moana, Ron and John, after they finish making Princess and the Frog, they are looking of what their next feature would be. John Musker has always been very fascinated with Polynesian culture. He loves Polynesian folklore, especially the demigod Maui. He's very fascinated by it. So from then on, he pitched his idea to John Lasseter, and John Lasseter really likes the idea, and he said, okay, now what you need to do is you need to go to a research trip. So they went to Samoa, Fiji, Tahiti, Hawaii, and New Zealand. And from the trip that they did, it opened up their eyes, and it changed the vision of what they want to tell in the story.
Right. Would you say that Moana represents a girl from the islands of Indonesia as well?
I think Moana represents anyone with an inner struggle. It's a very universal story. I feel that whether you're a man or a woman, young or old, you always have that inner voice, inner struggle of what's calling you, and that's very relatable to everyone.
Can you please also tell us where does all your inspiration come from every time you work on your project?
For every project, there's going to be different inspiration coming from, because we have to be very mindful of what the project is. For Moana, the Polynesian culture is the main inspiration.
For you, when you worked on that project of Moana, where did you get your inspiration?
Specifically for my tapas, it's the Polynesian tapas. Our research team went to, like I said, to Samoa, Fiji, Tahiti, Hawaii, and Moorea. They took a lot of photographs, they took a lot of videos, and also importantly, they meet the people of Polynesia. They meet with archaeologists, anthropologists, tattooists, linguists, dancers, and elders. And they talk to them, they consult with them, they let us know what makes Polynesia Polynesian.
Griselda Sastrawinata has worked for 17 animation movies, including Shrek Forever After, Puss in Boots, The Three Diablos, and The Croods. More of Indonesia Now shortly. Experience a tension relief spa using bamboo sticks. And we'll take you to a cave that has a natural spring in Maluku.